Have you ever had a perfect morning completely ruined by one tiny thing? Maybe you spilled coffee on your shirt or stubbed your toe. Or that feeling when your phone slips from your hand and you pick it up to see a spiderweb of cracked glass. In that single moment, a wave of frustration washes away all the peace you had. Your entire day is now tainted. We let these small things hijack our emotions. But worse, we let people do it. A thoughtless comment, a dismissive look, a last-minute cancellation. Each one is a crack in our peace. We live as if our happiness is made of fragile glass, handing the power to shatter it to anyone who comes along. But what if you could change the very fabric of perception? What if your inner peace wasn't made of glass, but of solid titanium? What if you could build an inner fortress so strong that the storms of life and the words of others could never breach its walls? That is the art of being unshakable. And today, we are giving you the 8 secrets to build that fortress. By the end of this journey, you won't be a victim of your circumstances. You will be the calm, steady architect of your mind. Hello, and welcome to the Popular Philosophy. I am your host, Alessandro. And if you're ready to begin laying the foundation of an indestructible mindset, let's get started. Imagine you're at the airport, buzzing with excitement for a trip you've planned for months. Then you see that single devastating word next to your flight, cancelled. Your first instinct is rage. You feel powerless, cheated by forces beyond your control. This feeling of fighting a battle you've already lost is the starting point of so much of our daily suffering. The first secret to building your fortress is to lay the foundation of acceptance. The ancient Stoics called it the dichotomy of control, and it's this simple. Some things are up to us, and most are not. You cannot control the airline, the weather, or the traffic. But you can always control your response. Think of it like in Disney's Frozen. Elsa fights her own nature, trying to hide her powers, and in doing so, she plunges her entire kingdom into a frozen winter. Our minds become like that frozen kingdom when we fight reality. The most powerful thing she does is finally accept who she is. This is your personal let-it-go moment, but for reality itself. You have to accept the storm to end the winter in your own head. Wasting energy fighting what you can't change is what breaks us. Accepting it is what gives us our power back. As the captain of your ship, you must have the wisdom to know the difference between the wind you cannot control and the rudder you can always steer. Look at the situation and ask, what here is the wind, and what here is my rudder? Stop screaming at the wind, take hold of the rudder. Once you've accepted what you can't control, the next step is to master the one thing you always can, the stories you tell yourself. You send a vulnerable text to a friend. Hours pass. You see they've been online, but there's no reply. Your mind immediately leaps to a conclusion. They're mad at me. I did something wrong. In an instant, your peace is gone, replaced by a deep, sinking anxiety. The second secret is understanding this profound truth. It is never the event itself that upsets you, but the story you tell yourself about it. The event was neutral. The text was unanswered. The suffering came from the negative story you invented. This is your Matrix moment. Morpheus tells Neo there is no spoon, revealing that the world's limitations are in his mind, not in reality. The problem wasn't the spoon, it was Neo's perception of it. For you, the problem isn't the unanswered text, it's the story of rejection you've chosen to believe is real. Our brains are wired to see threats, so our first story is often the most negative one. But you can choose the red pill. You can choose a different reality. This is your new practice. The moment you feel that sting of hurt, recognize the first story and then consciously create another. Maybe they are incredibly busy, or maybe they're dealing with something difficult. These stories are just as plausible, but they lead to compassion instead of pain. The event doesn't have to change for your emotions to change. You just have to realize there is no spoon. Choosing a better story works for neutral events, but what about when someone is actively trying to provoke you? That requires a different tool. Think of the last time someone insulted you. That hot, visceral urge to fire back with a clever, cutting remark. It feels like a necessary act of self-defense, a need to win the point and protect your pride. But this urge is a trap. It pulls you into a game you can never truly win. The third secret is one of the most powerful. Master the shield of silence. We mistake silence for weakness, but it is a demonstration of absolute strength. It's a quiet declaration that says, "You do not have the power to control my emotions. Your negativity stops here." Think of Dumbledore in Harry Potter. When confronted by the pompous and panicked Minister Fudge, Dumbledore rarely raises his voice. He remains calm, he listens, and he responds with a quiet authority that makes Fudge's shouting seem weak and childish. Dumbledore's power isn't in his volume, it's in his composure. Negativity needs your reaction to survive. It's the oxygen for its fire. When you offer nothing but a calm, deliberate pause, you force the other person to sit with the weight of their own words. You aren't losing the argument, you are rising above it. The next time you feel provoked, channel your inner Dumbledore. In that quiet moment of dignity, you reclaim your power. This is how you defend your peace. Now, let's look at how to proactively build your resilience before the battle even begins. Our modern world is a temple built to comfort. Everything is easy, instant, and frictionless. But this has made us mentally soft. When the Wi-Fi goes out for an hour, we feel genuine panic, as if a basic human right has been taken away. We've lost our ability to tolerate the smallest frustrations. The fourth secret is to intentionally fight this by stepping into the forge of discomfort. This is the practice of voluntary hardship. It isn't about punishment, it's about training your mind and body for resilience. Think of it like you're creating your own superhero origin story. No hero gets their power without a trial. Bruce Wayne doesn't just decide to be Batman, he pushes his body and mind to their absolute limits, forging an unbreakable will. Your training can be simpler, but the principle is the same. Take a 30-second cold shower, skip a snack, do a workout you don't feel like doing. These small, controlled doses of discomfort act like a mental vaccine. They teach your nervous system, "I can handle this." You're proving to yourself that your well-being doesn't depend on perfect conditions. In turn, everyday comforts start to feel less like necessities and more like luxuries you can be grateful for. Once you've trained your body to be resilient, you must train your mind to be aware. You need to become an observer of your inner world. So there we have it, the first 4 blueprints for your inner fortress. We've learned to become the sailor who masters the rudder, not the storm, by accepting what we cannot control. We've learned that we have the power to change our reality by changing the stories we tell ourselves. Not only that, but we've discovered the immense strength in the shield of silence, refusing to let the chaos of others become our own. And we've stepped into the forge, learning to build resilience by embracing voluntary discomfort. These are the foundational stones. This is the outer armor. You have already built something stronger and more resilient than where you started. But building the outer walls is only half the battle. The true art of being unshakable lies within. The next 4 secrets are deeper. They are about mastering the intricate world inside your mind, your attention, your empathy, and your ultimate purpose. In part 2, we go inside the fortress. If you are committed to finishing this journey and claiming true emotional strength and freedom, make sure you subscribe to the popular philosophy, turn on notifications, and click on the video below to continue our journey. You have built the walls, now it's time to take the throne. This is your host, Alessandro, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.